During FNCS Major 2 on EU, the weirdest thing happened.
Inconceivable!
And it changed everything.
I've spoken to Veno today, I've spoken to Raz today. They've cooked.
From the moment they teamed up in late 2024, Veno, Vico, and Flickzy seemed destined to dominate.
These guys are the strongest competitors to win FNCS in EU this season.
Veno's still in his prime and one of the region's greatest ever.
You know me.
Teaming up with Vico and Flickzy, who won Major 3 to end 2024 and placed top 5 in the global championships. On paper, they were the best team on the region and quickly met expectations by winning Major 1.
They continue to change the way we look at the formula for success.
But in Major 2, the weirdest thing happened. After their original drop spot, Crime City, became overwhelmed with teams, they moved to Mass Meadows, a good spot with just a tier 2 team landing on them. Perhaps it would take a few scrims and divisional cups, but they would soon have the spot uncontested. They had already qualified for LAN and had much less to lose, or so they thought. But what happens when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object? Veno, Flickzy, and Vico soon realized what they were truly up against, and left, unable to find a new drop spot in time for Grand Finals, leaving Tjino, Pablowingu, and Fredoxie uncontested. And even though it took the last chance qualifier to make it to finals, Destiny had called. So,
because they have put on an absolute show for us this weekend, I don't think anybody had them on their radar.
This is how Fortnite's most stubborn team achieved greatness. It's official, we're in the App Store, so make sure to download our free fantasy app on your iPhone or play at our website at app.weclutchup.com. Pablo, Fredoxie, and Tjino has to be one of the game's most unexpected success stories. At the start of Major 2, Tjino was unproven, would be playing in just his 4th Grand Finals, and was coming off his best ever placement in Major 1, a 12th. Fredoxie was a quintessential journeyman, playing his first Grand Finals in Chapter 2 Season 5, all the way back in 2021, but played in just 4 Grand Finals since then. He was even temporarily banned from competition. Better known for coaching top pros through off-spawn prep than for competing himself. Pablowingu was by far the most consistent and prolific of the three, playing in 13 Grand Finals, his best placement being a 6th.
Still doing work here against Pixie and Wox. Gets the knock onto 1.
In Major 2 Grand Finals, despite qualifying through the last chance qualifier, they were on fire.
Zone just keep going more north. Fredoxie, Tjino, Pablo, they're able to knock down 1. Big refresh to allow them to continue on.
And Demas, it could be the difference maker here. Picks will be collected, but Tjino having been eliminated.
In first place on day 2, beyond what winning would mean to them personally, it would be extra special, as they would be the first Danish players to win FNCS, the greatest country to never win.
Over the backup, but Fredoxie, he might have done enough, but no! Cammy falls, and Hardy's not going to be able to do it! Pablo is going to be the one to seal the deal here! Fredoxie's team had zero business winning this one out.
With a chance to win going into Game 12.
In desperation, he needs this elimination, but is going to ultimately go down.
Ultimately falling just short, finishing 2nd. Marius securing the title as the first Dane to win FNCS. Nonetheless, they had taken the leap and came out of Major 2 with tons of momentum and would forever be feared off spawn. So, would all of this pay off in Major 3? Their competition would be stiff. Hoo-ah. To many, Marius, Vanya, and Pixie were favorites to repeat. But EU Fortnite has insane depth. Queasy, Murstache, and Swizzy had shown flashes of dominance, but still hadn't lived up to their sky-high expectations, with a 4th and 5th in Major 1 and 2 respectively. They battled Malibuca, Wox, and Pings all season for the best drop spot, Demon's Domain, but on the day of Grands, they were believed to be uncontested.
After a 6-0 in scrims, Malibuca, Wox, and Ping have moved.
The region's GOAT, Tayson, had been showing signs of life, with Chicho and Haris qualifying for LAN in Major 2. But there was a huge story on the region. One of the greatest duos in Fortnite history had split.
It truly is the end of an era. Today we got the news that the longtime duo of Cammy and Seti have finally officially split.
For the past 4 years, Cammy and Seti have been an inseparable duo, producing some of the game's most iconic performances.
What is this? What is this? Queasy, Veno are trying to take it by force!
Winning Trio FNCS in Chapter 2 Season 8 and the 2022 FNCS Invitational, the first major LAN since the World Cup, and some of the best consistency since 2021. But since placing 3rd in Major 2 of last year, they struggled to find their form.
I think we've all seen the slow decline of Cammy and Seti.
Miserable at the Global Championship, contested in Major 1, placing 21st, and 9th in Major 2, even though it seemed like the stars had aligned for them to pop off. So after failing to make the Global Championships, they finally split up. But maybe a split was exactly what each player needed, as Cammy picked up Eyedrop and Hari, and Seti picked up Yapko and Panzer. Their long-standing bond and immense success guaranteed they would forever be compared playing apart. And Major 3 would just be the first glimpse. Mr. Savage was in his first full season since retirement, and needed a miracle to make LAN, teaming up with German legend Reason and Chap 2024's breakout star, who placed 2nd in his first 2 FNCSs. Finally, after an impressive 6th place without a drop spot in Major 2,
They've had a rock and roll sort of year, right?
Vico, Veno, and Flickzy were trying to become the region's Undertaker, rising from the dead to cook everyone. Although their surprise decision to contest the first place trio of Malibuca, Ping, and Wox on day 2 of Major 2, ruining their tournament, might have left them with an eternal enemy. Still, the region's greatest assembly of talent was about to go to war.
We're gonna war.
So what was the setting for this insane grand finals? Chapter 6 Season 3, the theme was Super. 3 new POIs were added: Utopia City, Supernova Academy, and Demon's Domain. Supernova Academy had loot and access to the season's most important mobility items, the dash sprites and capes. But the best POI was Demon's Domain, which had Daigo, a boss that when killed dropped the enhanced Spire rifle and a medallion that regenerated shield up to 50. Whichever team had the medallion could share it and carry fewer heals in their inventory. During the mid-game, there were 2 objectives that teams could play for to improve their loot. The first was the Floating Island. Floating Island spawned randomly in the 2nd zone. It had Core, another boss who dropped a mythic DMR and an invisibility medallion, which also improved movement speed. Next were Spires, which randomly spawned in a number of set locations, boosting many existing drop spots. Killing these would grant players good loot and contribute to one of the most important factors of the season: Hero Rank, which was a new upgrading mechanic. Players would start the game at a C rank, but by things like surviving zones, eliminating players, or destroying shrines, players could increase their hero rank all the way to S+. As their hero ranks increased, players would receive health back and gain access to hero caches, which gave progressively better loot. For the player loadouts, there were a few variations. For ARs, players would carry the DMR if they wanted to maximize Surge, the Fury if they wanted to maximize Pressure, and the Spire if they wanted something in between. For shotguns, teams would mostly carry the Sentinel Pump, a hard-hitting shotgun that did tons of damage to structures, but as the season went on, players began to view the Outlaw as a viable alternative due to its fast firing rate, even if the clip size was small and the range was poor. Then, for movement, players carried the dash sprites, which when thrown granted the entire trio 3 dashes, and the misforms, which when used turned the player into a Ghost Raven adjacent bird that could fly. Heals were pretty conventional, a combination of chug jugs, medkits, big pots, and minis, with the men miss bombs being very effective for storm plays. But overall, people were happy with the season and meta, except for the elephant in the room, Surge trading, which was especially bad the past few seasons because of the sheer volumes of ways teams could heal themselves, and you would literally be miles behind the competition if you did not. Although, the surge basing conventions did make teams complacent and became somewhat counterable. So with a mostly good meta, and a little scare as there were some leaks that Demon's Domain might get destroyed before Grands, it did not, we were ready for cinema, because there were so many storylines. Cammy versus Seti, whether Mr. Savage and Reason could make LAN, whether Vanya, Pixie, and Marius could become the first team to repeat on EU since Tayson, and whether Vico, Veno, and Flickzy could find their form. But mostly, could Fortnite's most stubborn trio, Tjino, Fredoxie, and Pablowingu, complete each of their insane Fortnite journeys with a championship? Let's go! With 4 LAN spots and almost $1 million up for grabs, let's get into the action. Remember when we said it looked like Malibuka, Ping, and Wox would not contest Queasy, Swizzy, and Mustache? Turns out they did.
Malibuka on the ground, Wox fully eliminated. It's now quickly turned into a tragedy for Ping as he's forced into a 1 versus 3, putting aggro onto Queasy. But with the backup from Mustache, with the backup from Swizzy, this should be a quick cleanup.
Pablowingu, Fred, and Tjino began a trend of pushing fights early, banking on the complacency of the surge trading meta to avoid third parties.
Kind of stopping their aggression, but you can see how Pablo was actually able to pick up Contry.
Vico, Veno, and Flickzy get an elimination.
Any HP to work with. He's just doing everything he can to survive.
Fredoxie gets mowed down by iDrop.
In the last zone, and they're just keeping the flow rolling. Fredoxie, big shutdown there.
As he, Cammy, and Hari take height at endgame, poetically as Seti, Yapko, and Panzer play on low ground.
This could be the ultimate dynamic. Old versus new here, essentially. Yapko keeping it rolling. A good exchange, but it might not be enough. Panzer, Seti, they're the only ones left to try and get the job done here, but they're tumbling back towards the deep side of the storm.
As Cammy, Hari, and iDrop win game 1.
And now it's exclusively down to how long can you withstand it. Cammy, what are we working with here, bud? We see the Medmus grenade, and it's more than enough.
We usually don't scoreboard watch this early, but Cammy and Seti were first and second. In the battle for Demon's Domain, Swizzy gets 2 unreal eliminations before going down.
It didn't quite work out for them, but I mean, all eyes have to be on Swizzy here.
I mean, how can they not be? They've got to take him down here.
They need to strike back. They need to come up big here because they need to play out a game. But it might not happen.
No way!
Vico hangs on for dear life as Veno and Flickzy are down, as Mustache, Queasy, and Swizzy have an unreal zone for height.
They got the best zones possible. If any trio's gonna capitalize on it, it's done.
Barely hanging on in the surprisingly chaotic final moments, but taking game 2.
Just 3 trios are still up, but Mustache, big pump coming through, works, goes down to fall damage. Queasy forced to drop and support his teammate Akira, trying to escape with the potential heal off as Yapko has made it back into the zone, but he quickly picks up Akira. 2 trios left, and now seems to be a 2 versus 1. Swizzy looking to close this game out. He connects the initial shots. He gets dropped, but Queasy with the quick pump is gonna clean it up.
Keeping their momentum by winning off spawn again.
Eventually, and now Mustache, friends to enemies. At this point, everyone is fair game, and Queasy's team, for the 3rd time here today, have struck with success.
But fall apart in the endgame.
Swizzy, too much of a mess here, and only 1 build remains. He'll try to do what he can, but he doesn't have any way to prevent height shooting him down.
Mr. Savage, Chap, and Reason cook as Marius and Pixie hold height as a duo.
They've managed to chase down Veno.
As Mr. Savage, Reason, and Chap keep rolling, taking height.
Takes him came throughout this match, and Marius is going for it again, but he quickly gets shut down. Mr. Savage needs this game. They had a rough first 2 matches to start off this tournament, but all it takes is 1 big one with a big shot coming through onto Pixie.
But Haris steals the game on a heal off.
All up to Reason now, but he has no heals, and Haris is gonna end up winning the heal off.
Pablo, Fredoxie, and Tjino get to business, being aggressive while other teams traded.
But Pablo, Fredoxie, Tjino, they reinvested towards the fight here, and they are coming back with a vengeance to try and see if he can escape from Tjino's clutches. But it's Country who finds himself at the other end of Tjino's shotgun blast there.
At the outset of endgame, Panzer is barely hanging on as a solo on behalf of the first place team.
Pixie wants to do it once again. Panzer's gone down.
After a slow day, Vico, Veno, and Flickzy start cooking.
Him in this moment.
And when you look at the comparison of rags to riches, Veno collects it.
but go down, leaving Veno to solo clutch.
Much of the luxuries he's forced to get at the zone. Veno in a similar situation is going to go down to Tayson. Big shot being connected.
As Hriss, Tayson, and Chicho look to go back to back.
Also, traded out. Atris, Chicho, they're trying to solidify this. They're trying to see if they can take this one home. Frenak gonna be the next one to fall. Atris will get the siphon.
But can't quite win a heal off.
Gyros, luckily enough, unless it was his teammates that threw it, found those extra 2 medkits as Chicho now has ran out trying to find Gyros, but he's gonna close it out with a few quick eliminations.
Jumping to second in a hot start. As the leaderboard starts to take shape, Vico and Veno go down early, struggling for most of day one.
Well, we gotta actually tune back in to see what we missed out. Brutal boxcars challenge very early on. Fredoxie's team, they have made
Fredoxie camps the reboot card.
reboot so they could one more time just forcibly shut down Veno, Vico, while they're still injured.
Then he and his trio chase them down immediately after the reboot.
Tjino, Pablo, Fred now getting extra aggressive. Veno falls shortly after, and it's all up to Vico.
He's going to be out for revenge against Fredoxie's team. This will pay a price.
Still in first, Seti, Panzer, and Yapko push.
That fight not only once, but twice against 2 of the most solid trios of the lobby. Being able to reboot Seti, they're going to be looking for a big match here. All they got to do is focus on the rotate, get into zone now.
Trying to expand their lead, but struggle.
Retake, we'll see if that ends up happening once again. A quick replay to who was actually applying the pressure with the Superman Sprite. It was Seti, Yapko, Panzer. They needed that damage though.
Seti and Yapko are still somehow making this work, but Seti will unfortunately meet his demise.
As Tjino, Fred, and Pablo keep racking up the eliminations, getting a 20+ elimination win.
Make it here, pushing for a buff as players are falling like flies. Elimination after elimination for Fredoxie. Tjino and Pablo looking like they have the potential to close this match out. Kdog goes down, walls being taken. Tjino with a double-headed connect onto Marius, and with that, they just took home not only a victory royale, but the one with the most eliminations that we've seen yet.
A game like that will surely kick off the spark.
Jumping to second, picking up right where they left off, making an aggressive play against first place, taking out Yapko as he executes his looting plan.
The trio that's currently in the #1 spot, one of the players now has been taken down.
Finishing off Seti and Panzer soon after with the opportunity to take a stranglehold over first.
Control their own narrative. They missed out last major and they're not looking for that to be a repeat.
And just like that, they are rolling.
Off-spawn battles and whatnot, but really well played here. I don't think that Tjino and Pablo have any intentions of slowing down.
Pixie from the 3rd place team goes down early.
Or nothing. Full build in zone, hard mats, do what you can to stay up, but when you have to focus on getting damage at the same time, it makes it that much more difficult.
With Fredoxie down and first place narrowly secured, Pablo and Tjino cook. Tjino clutches just enough to grow their cushion.
Rolling through this lobby, he needs another refresh though, some more mobility of that missed one. Big tag, but it's not going to connect enough to translate towards a knock. He needs the siphon refresh, but he gets cleaned up.
Enough to leave day 1 with a 44-point lead. After coming so close in Major 2, could they get over the hump? Day 2 would be absolute cinema going down to the wire, with EU's sleeping giant finally awakening to steal their crowning moment. Vico, Veno, Flickzy push Seti, Yapko, and Panzer early.
Higher map to shift.
Oh, this is big. Vico, Veno, Flickzy pushing onto Seti's trio. Seti's currently in 2nd place. Flickzy's hands.
Yapko gonna alleviate a little bit of pressure there for Panzer, but Panzer is still trying to get close enough for Yapko to prevent Vico, but it's just Veno chopping them both out.
Building momentum for a huge day.
Plenty of white meds. Flickzy, Veno, Vico. They're just gonna keep playing as aggressively as they did yesterday. Put pressure here. They know they can take this apart, but Veno, it's going to be the challenge against Pix that he ends up losing. Fortunately for Veno, he's still got Vico and Flickzy.
First place remains aggressive at the cost of Pablo.
They could find even more. Pink incredibly low, but Pablo loses his shield. Pablo's going to get knocked.
Eager to defend their title, in endgame, Pixie, Vanya, and Marius take height.
Chaos on the high ground. Vanya, Pixie, Marius, they finally made their move, and Cammy, he's been eliminated.
Tjino and Fredoxie make plays before going down.
Height.
I might have spoke too soon. Zone has pulled back.
That's coming through, even more shambles than them. Tayson, Atris, secondary height, and they are stuck in between height and low.
Breaking down the whole high ground. Tjino, though, put into trouble, gets knocked out of the matches.
But Vico, Veno, and Flickzy pop off.
Did this one too, Takata.
Oh yeah, they were looking good. Now this is a trio that you expect to be competing for that first place. First place, they were down in 7th going in.
And close out the win, looking to steal the tournament on a strong day 2.
Up for a heal-up opportunity here, but Flickzy is tearing through. Flickzy, Veno, and Vico, they are notorious for being day 2 players, and this is a big part of the reason why, Takata, because Vanya, all by his lonesome, won't have any answer.
Jumping from 6th to 3rd on the back of an incredible game. But Tjino, Fredoxie, and Pablo grew their lead. Pablo, Tjino, and Fred pushed Seti, Yapko, and Panzer again, capitalizing on the complacency of the surge-based meta.
Disrupt them in their early game path. We can see what actually happened. The whole surge base that Panzer had set up got dropped down.
Savage, Reason, and Chap in qualifying range push Seti, Yapko, and Panzer.
But one good match is enough.
It's Seti, Panzer, and Yapko, though. This is the trio that we saw closing in to try and key when Seti and Yapko were trying to play for the reboot. Rice, he has been exchanged, but Chap, that's not the outcome.
See if Panzer's able to do anything here. A 1v3. Ooh. Nice shot connected onto Mr. Savage, putting him to a bit of panic, but his teammates are close by him.
As Vico, Veno, and Flickzy keep rolling.
Off of that Game 7 win, it's almost like Veno's trying to announce to the rest of the lobby, hey, the king is home, and I'm coming to claim my throne. But Vico, Flickzy, Veno, good elimination.
Winning a sketchy mid-game fight.
The consequences have been applied, though, to Robin first. Timu, Kylie, they're now trying to go on the back foot, but Veno, okay, I apologize. I gotta remember that you guys are
not
still
a trio that likes to play it slow
with it, okay? It's just
Veno, Flickzy, and Vico take height and cook.
Pretty rapidly with Seti, Yapko, and Panzer, and then even after the last match performance, Veno, Flickzy, and Vico are in real contention for first.
No, they're looking like a whole new beast right now on day 2. They said, don't forget about us.
Meanwhile, Pablo, Fred, and Tjino continue to be aggressive in mid-game fights against top teams, taking out Marius.
Here, it might be Marius. Don't knock on the wrong door, Marius. Shot comes through, no crack though. Bit of time to run away, but with the pressure from every single angle, Tjino's gonna pick that up.
Making a sneak play at the start of endgame.
Not coming from it yet, but there it is. That's one. Looking for the second. They've now claimed a huge position.
Leading into the chaos of a low-ground water zone.
Tanked up Storm, but they've got this front side position fully locked down. Tjino, Pablo, Fredoxie now suffering the consequences, getting too stuck in the congestion. And Fredoxie, he'll actually opt for these chug jugs. He just needs to play for placements.
With Vico, Flickzy, and Veno winning their second consecutive game.
Right now on day 2, they said, don't forget about us. There's a reason. We have the respect that we do. Fredoxie was looking like he had too much of an advantage after day 1, and now with that back-to-back Victory Royale, I want to know where that's going to place them.
Cutting the lead to under 40, furiously trying to steal the tournament. But at the outset of Game 9, revenge is a dish best served cold, as Vico, Veno, and Flickzy are ambushed by Malibuca, Ping, and Wox.
Vico, what's gone wrong? Where are your teammates? Is that the whole trio out already? Are they fully eliminated? Malibuca, Ping, Wox.
No.
Getting a blast to Major 1 where they took first place in the finals, and now they might just take first place from them once again in a different way.
Sensing the opportunity to put the tournament away, Tjino starts cooking.
So as Pablo gets quickly pushed, Tjino on the support angle takes down Bellry with a quick knock. And now, from what looked like a problem, has turned into a bonus.
Pushing height.
Wox, they had that early skirmish with Fredoxie's team, and Fredoxie, they're looking to finish the conversation that they started at the beginning of this match. Fredoxie now taking over height. It's also got that medallion running around Tjino, Pablo, Fredoxie.
Going down late in endgame, as Fredoxie tries to eke out some points.
Play unable to get the box. Everything is on the line here. He's forced to drop down. Just 6 materials left.
It doesn't matter what Fredoxie is doing though. Seti, Yapko, Panzer, they're a healthy trio underneath.
After a string of disappointing games, Panzer wins the heal off as he, Seti, and Yapko jump right back into contention.
Panzer does have a med kit, but he has to prevent himself from being taken out. Panzer gonna go all the way up to the top of the hill. Tjino following, but Tjino doesn't have the HP for him. Panzer doing the dash.
But Tjino, Fredoxie, and Pablo's lead is slowly floating out of reach. And the broadcast acknowledges the revenge angle on Malabuka.
And I think a lot of people are going to see this as a revenge sort of play from Malabuka, Ping, and Wox. As like, actually, you guys landed on us last season, now we're going to land on you.
As Vico, Veno, and Flickzy hope to channel the rage into a good Game 10. Feeling their work is done, Malabuka, Pings, and Wox don't land on anyone in Game 10. But Game 10 starts off with insane fireworks, as first and second place fight immediately.
Helps significantly to knock out Vico, Veno, Flickzy in the early game, but on the other hand, if they end up going down in the early game, it's almost outweighs, you know, how worth it actually is.
With first place weakened, Veno, Vico, and Flickzy start to roll.
Ever since they got that early elimination, probably knew that they could just keep kind of trailing teams that might be looking to play storm-side positions. And Flickzy, actually a monster, the way that he's just directly tackling.
When Fredoxie is rebooted, he, Pablo, and Tjino look for a sneaky refresh, but it backfires, as they lose Fredoxie, then are held in the storm.
I think Tjino and Pablo as a duo to close the rest of this fight out. Zangy trying to do what he can to stay up and recuperate that shield that has been lost, but the pressure from Pablo is not going to stop. Looking for a quick piece, trying to stay ahead of his opponent, but nothing big coming through it yet.
Only Tjino left. The odds of him making it towards Pablo's body, impossible. He's already been eliminated, and Tjino hiding underneath stairs here. He's not going to last otherwise. But he won't even be able to make it in. Just been held for entirely too long, and Zangy Rax believes he well played.
Seemingly possessed about turning this back into a competitive tournament, Vico, Veno, and Flickzy cook.
To find a way to wrap around, stay out of sight, out of mind. Flixium, Izzy, Fozzy, they were trying to prevent catching the attention here from Vico, Veno, Flickzy, but
staying aggressive in endgame.
Choosing more of a mid-ground route here. Actually gets the knock onto iDrop.
Just ahead of them, CZB, Axe Force, Nathan, they don't know that these are their builds. Vico opens up with some big shots, and CZB will be the first to fall. Nathan now trying to see.
Looking up to height.
Currently in control. AC will get stopped though, and Vico, he's gonna barge right in with that knock.
But all three go down.
Flickzy doesn't have any either. Cammy now wanting to join the party though, and it's Vico, Veno. They're gonna pay the ultimate price with their lives. Marius and Vanya, somehow, some way.
Vanya chases Chicho into Storm as he is healing off to win the game.
But they're just too far away. Chicho still has his misform too. Chicho's still getting tagged up from behind. Vanya might just be able to close the gap. Vanya makes it happen.
But we had a tournament back on our hands, as Vico, Veno, and Flickzy whittle an over 100-point lead down to just 34. Veno, Vico, and Flickzy push Tayson right away.
Vico now looking for an angle, a potential full box onto Haris here. He gets it, he connects, and that's another knock for the trio.
But get tied down in a sketchy mid-game fight.
Right now in the clutches of Veno team, but Veno,
oh no,
he's gonna be the one knocked.
Oh
Vico
no,
follows shortly after, and Flickzy, last man standing now for Veno's team, but a huge refresh.
Flickzy is able to get the reboot, and they live to fight another day, depleted but not defeated. At the start of endgame and in surge trouble, they go all out for a refresh.
Still, but that knock is going to grant them a bit more time as the shots continue to connect. They might just have to go all in for this. They need the loot.
Flickzy goes down, and Veno and Vico have to operate as a duo. After clutching some placement points, they go down.
Looking much brighter for Pablo, Fredoxie, and Tjino in this match as Vico, Veno, Flickzy go down.
Pablo, Tjino, and Fred squeeze out some points.
A few more. Vanya's fully cracked though. Pixie's potentially going to be left as a solo. Great job grouping up though. They have a bit of time to heal. Tjino going right on in with a huge pump onto Vanya though. You can't get too comfortable.
Fredoxie hits back-to-back clutch pumps.
Norman Sakata to surge their way up the leaderboard. And Fredoxie, he's just looking to hold on on to first as long as he possibly can. Mappy not gonna be able to make it through, and Fredoxie closes in the perfect two-play shots
Finally going down after a solo clutch.
needed. And he's looking to cause even more problems for the teams on height. Fredoxie with the misform might have been a little bit too greedy with his positioning though, Takada. He's drawn the attention of the high ground team.
Has to be careful. Pixie knocking on his door. Gets eliminated. Pixie with a quick elimination.
As Mixin, Uppel, and Focus win game 11, taking out iDrop, who put his team back into global championship qualifying spot.
Focus, Uppel now, forced down below with the mist form, trying to group up with his teammate. It's a 2 versus 1. I drop the solo. Pressure is on. Shot connects, and Focus with the 10 eliminations.
But Pablo, Fred, and Tjino expand their lead, but it's still close enough for Veno, Vico, and Flickzy to steal. With 4 land spots still up for grabs, major teams like SETI, Cammy, and Mr. Savage and Reason had the chance to lock in their spot.
In 10th, Mr. Savage's trio, they are right behind. They have a real opportunity here to do something special to make the dream happen, keep the dreams alive.
So, with the tournament on the line and 4 land spots available, an incredibly high-stakes Game 12 was upon us. Pablo, Fred, and Tjino stay aggressive.
As soon as he wraps around this rock, he'll realize Howley nowhere left to run. Misform's gonna come out, but Tjino, Pablo, Fredoxie, they're all just simultaneously thinking, bro, please just go down already, Fredoxie.
So do Veno, Vico, and Flickzy.
But it might just be a matter of time.
Another player even further away, but this has been settled down to the low ground. SETI is going to be knocked. SETI eliminated here. Vico, Veno, Flickzy closing in now onto Panzer and Yapko. They're just too hurt after getting chopped out. A little bit of panic now ensuing, but Yapko trying to keep his wits about him. He watches his Panzer gets eliminated right next to him. Veno, Vico, Flickzy standing tall here at Lone Wolf Lair.
With globals on the line, Chap gets to business.
Going to be an issue, but the starting point is that Chap, Savage, Reason, the way that they just collapsed so quickly onto Teeny.
And they keep rolling.
Savage's team decides to fully commit onto this fight. A little bit more brawl, but Chap comes up big time. Axe Force knocked. Axe Force eliminated. Odds are in Savage's favor, and they have fully boxed on Nathan. He just barely managed to get his way out.
With Fred down, Tjino gets an elim, followed by the res.
We're on the material count than what they would probably want to be. But they had more than enough time to make up for it. Just a replay of how exactly they managed to overcome that exchange, and just really well monitored by Tjino and Pablo.
At the start of endgame, Pablowingu goes down.
To the center of all this crossfire. Gonna try and take a different position. Chap, Reason, Savage pulling up though onto Fredoxie, Pablo, and Tjino, and they've knocked Pablo. This is catastrophic right now for Fredoxie's team. In that first place position on the leaderboard, they're gonna have to leave Pablo behind.
So do Veno and Flickzy.
Eliminated. Vanya, hardly any HP, and it is falling like flies for our leading teams on the leaderboard right now. Takada, Vico also a solo from Veno's trio. Vico versus Vanya now.
But Vico makes plays before going down, taking out Chap, who probably clutched up enough for a land spot.
Trying to see if they can find any sort of escape from the pressure of height. And Vico, crazy elimination onto Chap. That's gonna be everything when it comes to material. The siphon as well. He's just trying to tunnel his way through, but the lights are too bright, and Vico has been eliminated.
And Fredoxie starts emoting because he knows he has it.
Fredoxie's gonna use that miss for him. He wants to close it out strong, but you can see the excitement. He saw the feed. The dance comes through. He knows.
Taking a short victory lap.
Inevitably get eliminated. Fredoxie still looking to ruin the fun for others. Tayson.
As Malibuca wins the final game.
This is an insane finish right now. Malibuca MPing off the top rope, chasing down whatever's left of Chicho's HP. But it's all about Fredoxie, Pablo, and Tjino for me.
But Fortnite's most stubborn team had beaten EU's super team, not once, but twice.
Your FNCS Europe Major 3 champions are Fredoxie, Pablowingu, and Tjino. A much-deserved win, fiercely thoughtful, making good on their promise to go one better than Major 2 and take that blade of Champions 11.
After rising so fast and coming so close in Major 2, they had finally done it. After 3 insane journeys, each player had reached the top, perhaps becoming EU's best chance for a LAN win.
We've been searching for a team to really be, you know, our EU champion, the team that will do something for us on LAN, finally give us a chance against the NA Titans that have been winning it year in, year on. And these guys, if they can play like this on that stage in Leon, they're gonna have a good chance at it. Unbelievable.
After an insane day 2, Vico, Veno, and Flickzy mantled up to second. Marius, Vanya, and Pixie earning the title as EU's most consistent trio, with a third, Seti getting the best of his first head-to-head with Cammy, as he, Panzer, and Yapko placing 4th, with iDrop, Cammy, and Hari placing 8th, both making LAN, giving the world an even bigger tournament to compare them in. Arnold Schwarzenegger once said, "The wolf on the hill is never as hungry as the one climbing it." In a region full of giants, it wasn't the fastest, the flashiest, or even the most decorated team that won it. It was the most stubborn. Like, sub, and check out our other videos.
Shout out Tjino.